Indian Institute of Public Administration, Delhi, and was awarded the Silver Medal. I think that calls for a round of applause. He got his PhD in economics from the Utkal University, and his book titled Corporate Social Responsibility in India, Past, Present and Future covers a wide range of social and business-related issues in the Indian context. May I invite Sir to share your thoughts in this forum?
Mr. Sudhir Agarwal, President of Textile Association India, Delhi. My colleagues in the ministry, Sunana ji, Textile Commissioner Kavita ji, Mr. Bees, Mr. Prashant Agarwal, Mr. Sanjay Arora, Mr. Vikas Bhargav, and distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I have basically come here to listen, because in this forum where all of you are deliberating as to how to take the Indian textile industry forward, I think as the Secretary of the Ministry in charge of dealing with this subject, I feel that we have many things to understand, appreciate and listen from you. So that way what Prashant mentioned, his briefing has been very crisp and covered all the subject that you have dealt, starting from synthetics to Center of Excellence, young entrepreneurs, startups, textile, technical textile, India's domestic market, and looking beyond the traditional market, and last I was present for some time in the skilling, are all extremely important issues. So I am sure you will put all your recommendation to and give it to us, so that we will try to work on it, giving the constraints and the broad parameters under which the government functions. You are all experienced person, you know how the industry works, and like my colleague Kavita mentioned, we are here to help you, assist you with an open mind, and we believe that it is a teamwork, and we have to appreciate each other's constraint and take it forward. The broad formats have been set by nobody other than the Honorable Prime Minister. That is, Make in India is an endeavor where we have to gear up our industry. Again, what is necessary is that the poverty incidence which the country is suffering from, largely because of the huge number of population remain in the agriculture sector, we have to give them skill and we have to take them out of agriculture to, manufacturing sectors. So along with that, he has also stressed on the need for skill, scale and speed, and also for producing goods with quality at a competitive price, both for production, for employment and for exports. So those being the broad mandate, it all depends where we go, how we go, and what are the various parameters that is to be looked into while we go ahead. I would just like to mention, flag 2-3 issues which I have seen, in my last, for about 14 months in the Ministry of Textiles. I have been to Vizag, to the, the textile park, set up by Brandix. So I would appeal to you, why not we create more such infrastructures? Brandix is appealing not because of the name, but because of the chain that they have established and the excellent infrastructure they have created. They represent the whole value chain, and also, the way that is being managed and the type of technology they have brought in. I was there for about an hour or so. So we had gone to their effluent treatment plant, and we find very, young ladies, her name is Chandana, very fresher graduate. She is with a lot of enthusiasm, she is handling the effluent treatment plant with a, officer from Sri Lanka. Both of them are running the effluent treatment plant. I wish, all our plants, all our parks should have effluent treatment plant like that. When we are getting some order from the Green Tribunal or from any of the High Court, then we suddenly woke up and take action. The units are getting closed and the labor is becoming unemployed. Why we should wait for that thing? Why not we, be proactive and take action in time? In fact, very recently we have set up a committee, and the committee, the beauty of it is not an official level committee. We basically want to, bring best of the thing. That is, we have got, Textile Research Association with the ministry. So I would appeal to you that why don't you see how exactly those can be activated. There also a lot of government money is being spent, lot of people are getting employed. Why not they try to address the problem of the industry? So the particular thing, effluent treatment plant I was mentioning, we have now, after a lot of deliberation, particularly looking into the difficulties that our industry in Punjab and Rajasthan, they have, come across a lot of, effluent treatment related issues. So we have set up a committee with the 3 IITs, that is IIT Mumbai, IIT Chennai and IIT Delhi. Along with that, 3 Textile Research Association and also 3 clusters to work together and find out whatever is the best available technology. I think we live in a situation where there is need for, we to pull ourselves together, and what Textile Commission was mentioning, to work together to solve the problem. So I would request you that you please deliberate upon and find out that our schemes like the scheme for for the integrated textile park, scheme for integrated process development scheme, these 2 schemes, and along with that we have got a worker hostel scheme, we have got incubator scheme, how we can pull this thing together, and at least at different parts of the country we set up facilities like Brandix, what has come up. I think that would be of great help to us in bringing up scale and in making, the textile, the Make in India destination textile, what we are deliberating upon, how we develop the infrastructure. You see, we are having money, but today morning we are trying to review the expenditure after a period of 6 months. We find that there is not enough takers. So we have gone for amendment of the scheme. We have made it extremely liberated about availability of land and facilitating the entrepreneurs. If you have any specific suggestion in mind, that we are most welcome to give to us. We want scale to come up. We want textile part to come up. Bigger facilities with much better facility along with a proper effluent treatment plant. That is the first part of it. You need not tell me today, but you can again go back and always remain with touch that how we can take it forward. Second part is that when we are entering, we had the discussion about this, skilling of India. That is, we have got the scheme, integrated skill development services scheme, and that the target is 15 lakh, we have done only 4 lakh. 11 lakh people to be trained, period is short. So what we have done, we have liberated the entire thing. Initially, you may be knowing that it was all skill was being done mainly through agency, either through the Textile Research Association or through the state government. We have now liberated and we have told that we have full trust on the industry. All that we are interested in is that a person should get an employment in the industry, and the skills should be as per the requirement of the industry. Nothing can be made more simpler than this. And what we have suggested that any one of you, any big industry or a group of industry, you can come to us and you can indicate where you are giving the training. Just we will give you a provisional sanction. So you train the people, requirement is only 2. One requirement is that you take biometric attendance so that we know whom we are training. And second point is that we are suggesting that minimum 70% placement. And it is only for making a non-worker to a worker. So I would again once again appeal to you. This has got very good response wherever I have spoken to the industry, and we mean it, that you please come forward and take that 10,000 rupees per worker, whatever is the skilling component. That is also one way of assisting you in, minimizing your loss, minimizing your expenditure, which would have otherwise incurred for skilling a people. That money is available. Any one of you, either one industry or a group of industry, you can come forward and take that money. So that is the second component. First component is the infrastructure. Second component is relating to the, this skilling part of it. You are always welcome, and I can assure you that we can do it in the least possible time. You see, my interaction with industry is that whatever I have felt is the industry doesn't require money. Industry requires basically ease of doing business. If they are not required to hang around around the officers for getting their work done, if they are treated well, if they are listened to, I think they are more happy than getting the money. Money they can always manage. So, that is the spirit and that is the understanding with which we are working, and we are open to all type of suggestions. The third thing that I would like to mention is, it has been stressed number of times, that is regarding the technology upgradation fund scheme. and we are working on it. But these are issues, it is little beyond the Ministry of Textile. Here it is a question of fund that is required, and fund that is not provided in the budget, substantially additional amount of fund is required. So we are working on it. I am quite hopeful that this particular issue would be resolved very soon, and technology upgradation fund scheme would be there, in fact, and that would be helpful to us. In fact, there was a question raised that it was started in 1999. Now that 16 years has passed, do we need a top-like scheme? And unfortunately, there are also some irregularities which were detected, which slightly weakened our case. Number of cases, the bankers, they have, given to non-entitled case, they have given to cases which are not admissible, there has been delay and things like that. So, we have now started in April, we have started an online system, ITOF, on which, everything is being monitored online. Now, Kavita ji has joined, and I have requested her that she will give more attention to it, to see that the tough, both the past thing and the future as it comes, it will be done in a totally integrated manner online system, so that there is no difficulties in this account. So I can assure you that we are working on top. It may take little time, but hopefully within a month or so it would be, the problem would be solved. So, having said so, I'll just mention, two other things. That is about the skill development thing. Particularly so far as the requirement of the unorganized sector is concerned, हमारे बीच में एक हिंदी ने बताए साहब वो जो क्या स्किल होना चाहिए. हाँ. तो आप आप जो बता रहे थे वही बारे में मैं बता रहा हूँ कि जो स्किल जैसा करना है, जो ऑर्गेनाइज सेक्टर है उनका तो मशीन के साथ काम करना है, तो मशीन में उन लोगों को ट्रेनिंग दिया जाना चाहिए. हमारा जो स्किलिंग का कंपोनेंट है उसमें दो पहलू है. एक ही अबाउट जो सॉफ्ट स्किल बोलते हैं, बात करना है, चाहे इंग्लिश में बोलिए, हिंदी में बोलिए, टाइम पर आना है, टाइम पर जाना है, अच्छा बिहेव करना है, अच्छा कपड़ा पहनना चाहिए, वो सब बातें दो जाती सॉफ्ट स्किल. और सॉफ्ट स्किल सबको जानना चाहिए. जहाँ तक आपका जो ऑन दी मशीन का जो रिक्वायरमेंट है, वो ऑर्गेनाइज टेक्सटाइल इंडस्ट्री का रिक्वायरमेंट अलग है. जो मैंने अभी बताया कि हम लोग इंडस्ट्री को पैसा दे रहे हैं, इंडस्ट्री लोगों को ट्रेनिंग करे, उसको एम्प्लॉयमेंट करे, देन दैट इज ओवर. सो फार एज दी हैंडलूम हैंडीक्राफ्ट इज कंसर्न, हम लोग वो जो हमारे जो सेक्टर स्किल काउंसिल है उनके संपर्क में हम लोग हैं, और हम लोग ये कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि जो स्किल, जो ट्रेड का जो ज़रूरत है, मार्केट का जो ज़रूरत है, हैंडलूम हैंडीक्राफ्ट, ये अनऑर्गेनाइज सेक्टर का जो स्किलिंग का रिक्वायरमेंट है, उसी तरीक़ा से उसको सजाए. तो ये थोड़ा सा भिन्न होगा. जैसे हम लोग को भी कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि हैंडलूम वीवर का जो स्किल है वो ट्रेडिशनल स्किल है, पर जहाँ तक नया प्रोडक्ट का रिक्वायरमेंट है, एक्सपोर्ट का रिक्वायरमेंट है, हम लोग एक कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि वीवर स्कूल सेटअप करने के लिए, सो दैट जो लोग लड़के क्लास 8 से बिलो हैं वो लोग वीवर स्कूल जाए, और वीवर स्कूल में वो लोग उनको 3 महीने का कोर्स दिया जाए, तो ताकि वो अच्छा प्रोडक्ट बना पाए. उसी टाइप का जो हैंडीक्राफ्ट का रिक्वायरमेंट है, आप लोग जानते हैं अभी 14 तारीख से, पिछले 14 तारीख से हमारा ग्रेटर नोएडा जो एक्सपो में हमारा एक बहुत बड़ा इंडिया हैंडीक्राफ्ट एंड गिफ्ट फेयर लगा था. और आप लोग जानते हैं कि हमारा हैंडीक्राफ्ट में बहुत अच्छा एक्सपीरियंस है. जैसे पिछले साल हमारा करीब 28,000 करोड़ का जो एक्सपोर्ट हुआ था, साथ में कारपेट अगर 8,000 करोड़ है, करीब 36,000 का करोड़ का जो एक्सपोर्ट था कारपेट एंड हैंडीक्राफ्ट को मिला करके. और वो करीब ईयर टू ईयर 17 से 18% बढ़ते जा रहा है. स्वाभाविक है, क्योंकि हिंदुस्तान में लोग हैं, हाथ में काम करने के वाले लोग हैं, और हाथ के जो कला जो है उसका विदेश में उसका आदर है, उसका डिमांड है उसको करने के लिए. तो भाई, लेकिन उसको करने के लिए हमारा जो अप्रोच है कि जो एक्सपोर्टर चाहता है, वही एक्सपोर्टर जो चाहता है उसी टाइप का हम लोग सामान बनाए. ये नहीं कि हम कुछ बना दिए फिर घर में पड़ा रहा करके, गवर्नमेंट एजेंसी के पास पड़ा रहा एंड गवर्नमेंट एजेंसी उसको कर नहीं पाया. तो वो जो सेक्टर स्किल काउंसिल जो लोग पर्टिकुलरली हैंडलूम हैंडीक्राफ्ट के साथ डील कर रहे हैं, उनको उसी तरीक़ा से इस स्किलिंग प्रक्रिया को जोड़ने के लिए हम लोग कोशिश कर रहे हैं. उसमें आपका अगर कुछ सुझाव है आप दीजिए, उसको भी हम लोग कोशिश करेंगे. तो ये एक पॉइंट था. दी अदर इशू आई लाइक टू मेंशन ब्रीफली इज आवर टेक्सटाइल कमीशन हैज ऑलरेडी मेंशन अबाउट टेक्निकल टेक्सटाइल, बट somehow in technical textile our progress has been very slow. We are holding all these technotex every year, but then it is not commensurating with the type of visibility that should come in the number of units, in the number of, in the terms of export, employment and production. So I would request you that if you have got any suggestion, anything, you please come forward and we can start that thing. And we have got a special scheme in the northeastern region that is for popularizing geotextile. 427 crore. The ministry has started a specific scheme particularly for stabilizing road surface, for stabilizing the water bodies and for the hill slopes. But there the problem is that we are not getting contractor, we are not getting agency to make that thing, to implement that scheme. So what we have done recently is that we have now started the startup entrepreneur scheme. आपको याद होगा जो लास्ट 15 अगस्त को पीएम साहब ने जो रेड फोर्ट से उनका स्पीच में एक संदेश दिए थे कि हम लोग अभी स्टार्टअप एंटरप्रेन्योर और स्टैंड अप एंटरप्रेन्योर ये दोनों का स्टैंड अप इंडिया इसको करना है. तो हमारा एक कोशिश है हैंडलूम हैंडीक्राफ्ट एंड अलॉन्ग विद दैट इन दी ऑर्गेनाइज सेक्टर ऑल्सो वी शुड स्टार्टअप एंटरप्रेन्योर. और ये स्टार्टअप एंटरप्रेन्योर का जो है द वेरी बिगिनिंग वी हैव मेड इज दैट ऑल आवर TRAs वी हैव सैंक्शन देम 3 crore rupees टू मेक सम basically a industrial set type of thing with some minimum facilities. So that any student who is passing out, a group of students from IITs and others, they can avail this scheme and run it on a plug and play method. So I believe that this would be quite helpful. Very soon this will come and it can start operating so that our technical textile and all other new venture which are likely to come, plus the extension of the research finding of the TRAs into field condition that can be tried by the startup entrepreneur. And I think your association also can think over as to how to get associated with this progress. So having said so, I'll just end with another specific initiative that the ministry has taken, that is in respect of the northeastern state. You may recall that on the 1st of December 2014, Honorable Prime Minister has indicated that we'll set up one modern apparel and garment center in each of the 8 northeastern states. So that we have started. In fact, our Honorable Minister has personally visited each of the 8 northeastern states and laid the foundation stone of the modern apparel and garment unit. This would be a apparel and garment unit where there will be, in each center there will be 3 units of 100 machines each. All integrated unit basically for preparation of the apparel and garment as per the requirement. It can be for the requirement of the local people like police and paramilitary forces, like the like the jail staff, like the forest guard, all those uniform forces, whatever is there in the state government, the unit can produce the fabrics for them. The unit can also produce fabrics by converting the locally available textiles, the handmade textile, into fashion garments. And in due course, it can also take up the same facility for production of garment as per the export market. You see, our share today in the entire global textile is only 3.8%, whereas that of Bangladesh is around 8%. You see, the gap is there almost double that of ours. One factor is the duty structure. Being the least developed countries, their goods are not taxed, whereas our goods are taxed. That is something, we have been pursuing with the Ministry of Commerce and Department of Revenue how to reduce the cost of capital and provide some additional incentive for export. And also the TUF will also have a provision for promoting export and employment in that sense. So, but it goes without saying that for any sort of making goods as per the quality requirement, we need manpower, we need infrastructure. So this Northeastern Apparel and Garment Center will provide an excellent opportunity for starting those initiatives. And we are hopeful that in 1 month's time, at least 4 out of the 8 centers would be ready for operation. So I would request all of you that those who are interested, in fact they have already come out with RFQ, that out of the 3 units, 1 unit will be made available for skilling and 2 units will be made available for commercial production. So those of you who are interested, you can bid in that thing and the state government would be deciding that thing. That will give a very big push to our production of the apparel and garment. At the same time, it will also lead to social inclusiveness. Because you see, Northeast, if we find there is problem, the solution to that is only, taking up economic activities on a large scale which will provide employment and growth in that region. That is the only panacea to the problem of, unemployment or poverty that certain part of the country has been facing, where leaders like you, who are members of this, August Association, can play a very important role. I am very thankful to Kavita ji for her kind words, and also to the announcer for reading out all those things. I don't know whether I deserve all that thing, But I'll just mention one thing, which she skipped and I think is important to mention. I happened to be Chief Secretary of Tripura for 4.5 years. That is from 2010 to 2014. And while living Tripura, me along with my other colleagues, we authored a book. And that book name is Making 1 + 1 11. You see, 1 + 1 always makes 2. There is no big deal in it. But the challenges of today that the society is facing, it requires that 1 + 1 must be made 11. So how we made it 11? It's very simple hypothesis. It